Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Random Fandom. I'm your host, RavenWood. Oh, hello. Okay, that's actually much better. Question mark. Okay, hello. Oddly enough, it said that like, oh, hey, you're live, and then it was like, oh, okay, I'm ready to tell the people on. Oh, that's much better. I think it's somehow darker in here. Let me see if I can fix that. I don't think that fixed that at all. Well, regardless, we're here, we're live. There's just this. I don't like this. Oh, that's much better than that. Okay. Is it because I'm. Well, well, that fixes whatever. That fixes that, I guess. Whatever. Hello. Okay, sorry for the delay. So yesterday I did not do a live stream, despite how ready I was yesterday, or despite just everything, I guess. Or now how ready I was Saturday to do this not consistently. Sorry, to do one every day or something. Not every day. Well, yeah, do one live stream every day of the week of Christmas. With the exception of Sunday. Initially that was the hold on, what's this? Okay, that's nothing. Initially that was the idea, but then other things happened, and this is a bit. That's much better. I want to be at least. At, I at least want to be. Oh wow! Let me take this silly thing off. Ooh. Ooh, this arm. Ow! It just hurts. You think that because of vacation, maybe going on to vacation, it would not hurt. But for some reason, it hurts. So, yeah. Ha ha. Huh. It's just this muscle. This muscle right here. Okay, it hurts for some reason. Oh, it's probably because how I was sleeping on it. Maybe, perhaps my leg hurts because of how I was sleeping on it. The way I was sleeping on it, I guess. Oh, sorry for this momentarily delay. I'm not trying to do this so I could pass the time. Just, it just. Oh, that feels much better. Okay. Right here, I have some sort of like pineapple strawberry lemonade. Or whatever it is. It has a bunch of like fruits in it. That would be nice to have some. Than to drink. Something new. Okay. What I don't like about this is it's kind of just kind of also needs to be cleaned, I guess. No. Yeah. Whatever. I don't like how it kind of just dangles. Anyways, I said I was going to read chapter 5, so let's do that. Before I read chapter 5, I do want to take a bite of this. There we go. This cake. It's a little brownie. Actually, it's a brownie. Let me put this side to the side of myself. Whatever. Hmm. Okay. Well, tastes like sugar. All right. Ah, my fingers. Oh, the popping. All right. The grip of death. Let's see here. The next morning, the town square, which was normally a spot of calm commerce or festive parties, was packed with what felt like the entire town. Sound reverberated down each alley, every voice louder and more discordant than the last, rearing his horse and cart alongside one of the nearest buildings. Kraft gripped at his temples. Now, before I continue, I almost forgot to tell you the explanation as to why I wasn't here yesterday, streaming and reading this book. Well, okay, so yesterday no, well, Sunday I forgot, but yesterday I remembered. I didn't remember last minute. I remembered prior hand before I had made that post onto YouTube. But I but I didn't. The reason why that post took me longer than I initially had wanted to post it or whatever is because I um, decided to shower first and then post it because I wanted to get like the word how I want to get like a well articulated thought and then just type it or whatever. But anyways, I I overslept Tuesday and I underslept tonight. Um, uh, um, but last night, regardless of things, last night what ended up happening was there was a Discord party. Okay, anyways, uh there was a Discord party that had happened, right? Or that was going to happen yesterday, or it happened. But anyways, and so I was like, oh no, I forgot. Well, I could always do a stream early, but then when it was, but by the time I had like thought about doing it, um, time just flew by. Time just flew by, and I didn't have enough time to actually do it. I should have done it during now. I should do it. I should have done it during 4 o'clock or somewhere around this time during the afternoon, or just sometime during the day. Didn't happen. Probably should happen next year if I do this again. I'll probably do better. Hopefully, I'll be better about it. So basically, the next time I have a week off or whatever, I will just do better at making sure that if I'll, that week, all right, that if I'm going to do a week thing, or where every day of the week except for Sunday, right? Then I just need to be more committed about it and plan further ahead, I guess. I simply forgot. It was the first time we had this kind of sort of meeting on Anyways, so yeah, that was that. Okay, that's two notifications all at once. Uh, Anyways, let's continue. Everything all right? Ryan asked, tying the horses to the nearest post. Just the guilt, he sighed, blinking away on the oncoming headache and the growing gnaw of remorse in his chest. I was just hoping to scare off the guard with the town's support. Semicolon. I've yeah. I never wanted things to escalate like this. It just hit me that we're on the cusp of war with the country we live in. And yet you still produced all of this? She asked, motioning to the blanketed cart. Those, the mines, my trench gun. It was all meant to defend the shop if it came under siege. But I never expected an entire company to get sent to town. I could hold off maybe 40 soldiers with people backing me up, but what we did on the wall was showmanship. Now, Kraft didn't get to finish. As another voice cut out among, as another voice cut out among the crowd, as another voice cut out among the crowd. Sorry. Please, everyone, settle down. All of your concerns will be addressed, I assure you. A pulpit and stage had been brought out that were regularly used for political debate and ceremonial pronouncement, and atop of it stood Aramel, who looked far healthier in a fresh change of spiffy clothes. Finally, garnering the quiet attention he wanted, the quiet attention he wanted. I feel like maybe there's a comma there, and I don't know if you're, yeah, because like you're not breaking a thought here. You're not taking a break here. Finally, comma. I understand that one. Okay. Finally, comma. Garnering the quiet attention he wanted, not garnering the quiet attention he wanted. Like that doesn't make any sense. Garnering the garnering. If you said garnering the quiet attention, he moved 2 steps forward, whatever, or he shouted louder. It it's finally garnering the quiet attention he wanted, comma. Oh, finally, comma, garnering the the quiet attention he wanted, comma. Aramel began to speak more directly. See, I feel like that. I don't know why you added a comma there. So it's not a bad thing. Like it's just I feels like it's a misplaced comma. You added way too, now you're adding way too many commas, man. Come on, man. Ugh. Hmm. All right. Yesterday, oh, sorry. Yesterday, there was a conflict of sorts between our town god and the royal god of the principality, requiring the wall you see around us now. Understandably, this may alarm some of you. Some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Sorry. Well, that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. May alarm some of you, but the Crafters Guild has convinced the prince. But the Crafters Guild has convinced the prince I should be disposed as the mayor of this village. All because I refused to hand over one of our citizens who has been unduly charged. The small man's chest inflated as he spoke, his words clearer and clearer as he went on, despite the growing murmur among the crowd. I understand that such a choice is dangerous, but it is my duty to ensure the safety of all my citizens. Be it one man or the whole town, I will not yield to blatant injustice. The crowd seemed mixed on it. Farmers began to yell about their abandoned fields, merchants deprived of their trade routes, and there were more than a few voices shouting about the lack of gate on the walls, to which Kraft flinched. How about the gate? did this great crafter ever thought of putting up a gate there? Like I mentioned, like everyone else is like hey, I'm mad about this, I'm mad about that. I have a baby. And there's this one guy's like, there's not a gate. I'm pretty cool. There's just not a gate right there. There could be a gate. There should be a gate, but there's not a gate. So, yeah, what are we gonna do about that? I don't know why everyone else is shouting. I have a baby. This is just like Ruby, my God. For those who don't know, I've been here recently. I've been watching his Fixing Ruby series. The Raymond McNeil, aka Celtic Phoenix, is Fixing Ruby. So like, okay, like, okay, so let me explain. Okay, so in his series, fixing Ruby, he's on the Fixing Volume 7, right? And so there's this scene in one of the episodes that I've watched. It's almost as if God has somehow convinced me to watch this now before reading ahead. And no, I have not read ahead before reading the stream, so I can make this a coincidence. So can make this a topic or anything like that. No, I'm not that clever. I wish I was clever. Well, I mean, I am clever, but I wish I was that clever. But I do wanted to point out how silly it is that there's a scene where there are people gather around a together around a an area where where the mayor or whoever comes out, goes to a podium, and all these other people are just so happy to be there, or not there, so happy to be there. They're all there anticipating to hear about um, the problems of the town or whatever, right? Anyways, so like yes, in Ruby proper former, sorry, in Ruby form, right? In the actual Ruby series, there's a similar situation, but instead of like, but what they did there is it's more of like it's more of it's more someone so someone is actually finding a position to be elected as a council member. In this situation, she's already a council member. In Fixing Ruby, there's already she is a council member already, I think. Anyways, she's already a councilwoman. Anyways, so and it's so yeah, and so there's the difference between Ruby and Fixing Ruby, where like it's one of those rallies where it's like, hey, I'm gonna fix something, and if I am, vote for me, right? And this other rally, where it's like, okay, I want to hear about people's problems or whatever, blah blah blah. I think she is a councilwoman, right? I got confused about that episode. Or maybe I'm just now forgetting stuff. Anyways, regardless, and so now here's also a scene where this guy's like, okay, on the podium, there's a bunch of people, and then there's a problem to state the town problem. And this is a child, not a child. This is a town problem, a town issue. Everybody, listen to me. I'm the mayor, right? It's just saying it's not the same. Okay, obviously those are three different scenarios, three completely different scenarios. But for some reason, I was like, wait a minute. I fell for it. There are three scenes here. Mm. Anyways, there's no way I could have known that there would be a scene where the town mayor goes in front of the people and say, "Hey, I have a problem here," and for Fixing Ruby, for him to also include a scene where like, "Hey, listen, people. Uh, hey, listen to me, people. I'll also listen to you. I'll listen to your complaints. I'll also tell you my answers to your complaints about blah blah blah." Right? For the town meetings, whatever they're called. Anyways, I just find it interesting. I took a shower earlier, but my hair is just bleh. It's just a mess. But I have my hat over it, so it's not wanting to. It's wanting to tilt one way. I'm gonna have to go into a mirror and fix it. But all right. Um. Anyways, it's just so odd. Anyways, back to Aramal. Back to Aramal. Anyway. Oh yeah. Still, there were plenty of friendly voices mixed in. Fellow craftsmen decrying the guild. The guardsmen who've seen arts cut down the mayor without hesitation. The innkeepers who had already felt the effects of the guild's choke on the outside traffic. Little consensus was being reached, and already the noise was becoming unbearable. And so, like, yeah, no, like, they have every right to defend themselves from these jerks. Arts is an impatient asshole. Hmm. Yeah, there's a bit of almond in my teeth. He's I'm assuming his greed has blinded him to where he wants things done now his way as soon as possible. It has made him impatient and stubborn. See, it's okay to be greedy and gluttonous as long as there's like you have like a healthy dosage amount of it, right? Just every now and then, like, right? The problem is when you overindulge into the deadly sins, right? It's when it becomes a sin, like when it actually becomes a problem. We're humans. It's only going to be natural for us to dip, dip into sins because of comfort or joy or whatever. But the thing is, it's the thing is, we kind of have to bend towards greed. We have to bend towards uh, sloth. Every now and then. Sometimes it's okay just to enjoy some of these things. Only when you overindulge into these things is when it becomes a sin. When it ingrains into your brain that this and this and this and this and this needs to happen because this and this needs to happen, and then you prioritize those sins, those deadly sins, over God or people around you, that's when it becomes a problem. It is okay to cave into your wrath. Fear my wrath, right? But only in small morsels. Like, put your wrath onto something that you're not going to care about, like something like old piece of furniture that might as well it's going to break or it looks like it's old or whatever. Just put your wrath onto an object that doesn't bear any life or that no one really cares about anymore or something like, right? Put your wrath on a giant boulder. If you feel like pushing a boulder off a mountain, do so. As long as the boulder doesn't roll down the mountain and then down into the village and then destroying everything. Don't recommend it. Mm, or if the boulder causes an avalanche, snow avalanche or whatever, a rocky landslide or whatever, it probably was a bad idea after all to push that boulder. But you get my point. Like, it's okay to like control if you like have some sort of like healthy safety net of control of these sins because you're going to eventually express them. It's only a matter of like time and the right circumstances, right? Anyways, but Arwitz is obviously not that type of character. He's like, no. His impatience, no, sorry, his greed leads him to him being impatient. His impatience leads him to being stubborn. His stubbornness leads him to being wrathful, and his wrath leads to murder. It has corrupted his soul. Is sick of it, Kraft approached the podium. Oi! Kraft shouted, drawing almost every eye into the square. He stepped onto the platform and gave a nod to Aramal and received one in return, though the other man was definitely confused. Looking back to Rhine, he beckoned her forward. Rhine, bring the cart over to the podium if you could. With a crack of his neck, Kraft quickly ran over what he wanted to say in his head. I'm the reason the guild's here, he started. They've been pestering me over the better part of 2 years to fall in line, and every single time I've told them to get lost in a pula pit. Walking his way over to Aramal, he put his hand on the man's shoulder. I appreciate the mayor sticking up for me, but this is my mess. What happened yesterday was beyond what I thought would happen when I first refused them. And now they're going beyond targeting me to get it done. And they're targeting you. I feel like the semicolon before they're targeting you should just be a period. They're targeting you. They're targeting the mayor. They're targeting this whole town. They're targeting. I was going to have a joke. It just left my mind. It's like, no. They're targeting me. They're targeting you. They're targeting anyone in this room. It could be you. It could be me. It could be any one of us. The spy. I don't know why my brain went there. It could be you. It could be me. It could be him. They're targeting this whole town. Even if I were to turn myself in, I have no doubt the boot would come down hard on everyone in this village, just to make an example for just to make an example for anyone else that tries to resist. Well, I feel like we actually don't know that. Or it's gonna be like, well, all is forgiven, Aramal. Bye. All is forgiven, Aramal. Bye. Bye, everyone. I have Kraft. Kraft's mine. He just picks up Kraft and just see ya, losers. I got what I wanted. You know. make an example for anyone else that tries to resist. So that's why I don't plan to turn myself in. In fact, I plan to resist my dying breath and make the guild pay for every hint they try to extort me, extort from me, and from you. Just you, whoever is watching this, just you. Kreth raised his hands and motioned to one of the town's other craftswomen, a woodcutter, if he recalled correctly. I've heard people yelling about the guild's control over our labors, how they set our prices, how they demand our payments. Trader or craftsman, farmer or bookkeep, they'll pull every single gold coin out of your pocket and demand you meet their restrictions. Why? I actually don't know why. Sorry. Why? To benefit them. Roars of affirmation began to bubble through the crowd, lapping at the stage and spurring him onward. Gathering his breath, Kraft began to shout, "Screw them! Screw their petty prices! I want to sell what I make, and I make my living the way I want, and I am sure all of you would fare better doing the same. Why are we Oh, cat told Oh, okay. I don't know. Kowtowing. Why are we kowtowing to these thieves? An errant voice rang from the body of people. I have got. I kind of want to do it. I gotta do it anyways. Okay. I have got. Sorry, excuse me. No, it's gonna be goofy. I'm gonna correct myself. Yeah. I have the guard at their back. Kraft pointed to the voice, though he couldn't tell who had said it among the mass. Exactly! Well, I'm sorry. I just like it, I can imagine like to the audience, it's obvious it's goofy. All right, it's goofy, but but to Kraft, he doesn't know who said it. I'm gonna say it again. They have the guard at their back. Yeah. Kraft pointed the voice, though he couldn't tell who said it among the mass. Exactly. They held you at Blade's teeth. Held you at Blade's reach all this time, but now you have me. He threw a hand towards Ryan, who pulled the tarp off of the cart. Slipping off the stage, he grabbed a lever atop the body and yanked it taut, causing a whole rack of tin wood finished bolt-action rifles to spring up vertically. I have here the most advanced weapons of all of Etiam. Firearms that allow one soldier to do work of 10 when wielded wisely. I have heard for every able-bodied person willing to fight the guild and the royal guard one of these weapons, and the training to use it and the continued support of myself and my shop in the conflict. Now here comes the problem. I feel like in chapter 2, there will come a situation where the enemy gets a hold of these type of weapons. Oh no! And then they will be worse because then they'll try to re-engineer, make different versions of the weapons, make newer versions of the weapons. It's gonna be chaotic. You're just basically, essentially, pushing this world into some sort of new some sort of like A craft revolution. No, not a revolution. What's the term I'm looking for? I think a revolution? I don't know. Well, whatever. So I was thinking, and I just kind of just draw an entire blank. So in the conflict, the crowd's enthusiasm waned in an instant, but all whispers dying into the wind. Yeah. Okay. Now this is gonna be Donald Duck, right? You're speaking of rebellion. You're speaking of rebellion. Again, too many faces. He couldn't tell who said it, but it was clear. But it was clear the same thought ran wild among the mob. Swallowing, Kraft answered. No, I cry for secession, and it is no No, I cry for secession, and it is no lost cause. With what I provided, 20 men can stave off a whole company with only fear at their backs. That accounts for the town's guards who have proven loyal to protecting their homes. What weapons I have will be given to them first, but I will eagerly provide for every volunteer that steps forward. He pulled he pulled one of the rifles from the rack and stepped up to the podium, lifting it in the air like a trophy. Woohoo! We are the champions. He just turned this place into America. It is time we demand liberation from this cruelty, sever the boot that pins our necks, and forge ourselves a new future. Now, who will stand with me? Kill the beast! Kill the beast! Oh, sorry. Or the savages. Savages, savages, savages are hardly even human. Savages, savages. He just starts tossing the rifles to them and pitchforks. I don't know what. Oh, no, that's fucking nuts. No, a fun image to have in my mind. Like all of a sudden, it's the same. Okay, to those that don't know or probably do know, yeah, you're probably already thinking of what I'm thinking or whatever. He's just tossing. It's the same for Pocahontas, where the I can't remember the bad guy's name, but he's saying like stuff like they're like savages, and then they're singing savages, savages, they're hardly even human, right? And he's like tossing the weapons to these men, and they're just like grabbing their rifles and like, ah! You know what? It'd be funny if like every version of any Disney mob, angry mob. You know how there's, I don't know how many angry mobs there are in Disney movies. There's like, or angry group of people getting ready for a fight, getting ready for a Mortal Kombat, or not Mortal Kombat. Like you got like he's just gathering all these different crowds of people from Disney movies where they just want to protest, just kill something, kill a bunch of people. No, who will stand with me? Thankfully, there was no quiet this time around. Though muted, the discussion quickly stoked impassioned words. The first to step forward was a young, somber man Kraft recognized from installing his family's electricity. Uh, hmm, I don't think I have a separate voice. I kind of want to give it Mickey. I'm half tempted to give this guy the Mickey voice. uh, okay, fine, I'll do it. The Traders Guild have cost us our best cattle over the years, and the minute we complain, we're attacked by attacks. Another man. Oh, another man. Okay. Another man, a human with gray. Wait. A human with gray around his temples, stepped next to him, and then next to him another and another. Men, women, overeager children who would no doubt be turned away, and almost everyone that could was quickly stepping forward to support the cause. Thank goodness I don't have to make up more voices for people. Excellent. He turned to Aramel. We need to put word out to Mersin, Alamara, and Basel. Semicolon. We'll need to we'll need all the support we can garner to succeed. You like the word garner. I have seen it everywhere in this book, and only the semicolons have been distracting me from the word garner. What happened to the word muster or gather or culminate or whatever? I don't know. It's fine. Every author has that one word that they just abused. They just keep in the basement and say, "Psh, come on, give me another sentence. You will be useful to me for another sentence. Get out there." And starts whipping the word. It's like, the favorite or teacher's pet, just to be more wholesome. The teacher's pet world is like word is like, yeah. No, wait, no. He's abusing the semicolon in the basement, but this word, garner, has been a teacher's pet. I keep seeing this word garner. I'm gonna Google it. And I'm gonna Google it. And since I have myself and I can Google it. Yay. Garner. Together collect store or together collect or store some. Well, it comes from the Old French garnery, meaning place to store grain. He's just like gathering a bunch of people and just putting them in stock and whatnot. Just get like, come on, everyone! Grabs like a scythe or a sickle. All right, okay, here we go. Put him in the put him in this pantry. Put him in the wheat bin. Come on, Aramel, help me out here. He's been saying it all this time. I'm sorry, but he's been saying garner this, garner that, garner. Like, he's been saying the word. I think it's nar. Well, no, garner, whatever. I think I've been pronouncing it. Let's see. No, it's garner. Sorry, I thought there was an N before the G, but no, it's not. Anyways, he's been saying garner. He's been saying garner, and so it's been like keeping me off guard. Like I feel like it was like, okay, for some reason I never questioned it in my brain. My brain never questioned. It's like, I never heard of this term before. Well, what does that mean? Let me Google it, and then maybe I forgot, or maybe I whatever, doesn't matter. But like garner, he's been saying it all this time, and then there's like it just stalking people. He's been, I mean, like, just gather the people. Why are you so? Was this the editor or was this? Are you About the author, I want to read about that. Raymond Neal, also known as the Celtic Phoenix, is a crazy person based off of Ohio. Okay, that makes sense. Moving on. Why am I mean? I've chosen violence. And that is our most valuable supply line to protect. Ready, messenger, and send him as soon as you can. Aramel nodded. Will where let me just sip some more. Where'll do. As soon as you build an actual gate he can leave from. Kraft paused and sighed. As soon as I build an actual gate he can leave from. I like that. That is okay. That is good comedy. That is great comedy. I love it. It's the best comedy. Okay. Oh, my arm. It just feels twisted and knotted. Ugh. Yeah, storehouse. We can storehouse all these people. Okay, whatever. Okay, da 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 da. Oh, now it wants to cooperate. Oh, that feels much better. Okay, so we might be able to finish this in no. Oh, there's an epilogue. I didn't see that. Okay, well, we'll probably just read like the not they'll read the epilogue separately, but like depends on the time. I could probably okay. So with the epilogue, it looks like I'm gonna have to dedicate a separate live stream to that one. Okay. Let me. I said I would extend my time here. Okay. But yeah, let me just continue. I said I'll extend my time, so I will. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it for a little bit longer, but I don't expect myself to read for 2 hours. Hopefully not. I don't have enough reading voice for that. So I will pause. Oh dear. Let's see how far I can go. You know what? Let's just read. With only minor delay, a messenger was dispatched at his fastest pace to secure support against the crown, an effort that would prove all at once reassuring and disappointing. Merson and Bassel were all too willing to join in the crusade and provide assistance respectively. But Alamara's loyalty did not waver, and word of the revolt quickly spread to all corners of Hakkaj. As expected, support from within was limited, but to Kraft's pleasant surprise, the more northern eastern towns furthest from Madro's central control proved just as rebellious to the principality, shrieking their royal binds in open protest. Though, as relieving as it was, it also spawned its own share of anxieties. Organizing the town into a militia had proven difficult, especially because of Kraft's knowledge of that Kraft's knowledge pool on combat and tactics was limited to MMOs, not especially helpful when real warfare was involved. He ended up deferring much to Ryan and Tereth, who had both served in the military to some extent. It was a little embarrassing having sparked the revolt and encouraged its flames to grow, only to have stepped back for others to lead, but it only made him more adamant to provide support. Taking on more of a technical role, all Kraft could do was provide the tools of destruction and chime in about what scant knowledge he recalled from childhood watching the History Channel, commenting on how the range and lethality of firearms could change the sway of battle and tactics. What they ended up with was a fighting force of 80 men and women that were maybe undertrained by most military standards, but superior with their armament. That training, however, was impossible to export. Those pleasant surprise from the north quickly became calls of alarm, as most were quickly subdued by rudimentary reserve units. The Royal Guard kept tucked in back its in back in its back pocket for peasant riots. Support for the session was slow to spark and quick to die in these conditions, and only 2 months into the movement, Tomaloda suffered another siege. This time, trickery didn't need to be employed, simply a show of force that the battalion of royal guardsmen couldn't step an inch towards the town without having hot lead wedged through their chest. There was a swift retreat by the guard, but the number of injured was pitifully small when compared to Garqu's first attempt to tear down the wall. Excuse me. Several more attempts were made over the following weeks, each time no less and less effect. Each time to less and less effect, and not once did Tomaloda's forces take casualty. It came to the point where the defenders were dubbed the Endless 80 among Hakaj's ranks, and with word echoing to the civilian populace that when one of them fired, it came with the force of all 80. Even the attempts to siege the town were flagging. Encirclements were difficult given the more mountainous terrain to the north, and the town's walls were slowly pushed outward day by day, reclaiming the farmland previously abandoned and beyond. By all accounts, it doesn't make any sense. By all accounts, the Royal Guard wasn't just failing to conquer the town, they were actively losing ground in a conflict where the enemy should have been well contained. Then a report came in that a company was marching its way towards Mersin, and Kraft's heart stopped. Oh, we're losing too much ground. What should we do? Move to Mersin. Move to Mersin. Not Mersin. Kraft's heart stopped. He died. The end. The town was eventually engulfed. Ah. Mersin was one of the few northern towns that could protect the trade route out of the country and into Basel. which was why he had been so adamant to secure their alliance. There was already an issue with a garrison position in Alamara, positioned in Alamar, that had been heckling their caravans and making them divert. Losing Mersin would mean the trade route would be impossible to hold, even with the continued wall expansion. If it fell, it would mean the secession fell with it. And to prevent that from happening, Kraft finally dived into an option he had been hesitant to use. It has now been an hour, and so I might push this into an hour and 30 or 2 hours. And this machine, and this, okay, let me start. Okay. And this machine, will it work? Ryan asked, resting her hand on the metallic frame. If my gift works, if my gift works how it should? If my gift works how it should. Okay. If my gift works how it should, yes, Kraft confirmed, adjusting another wire. And you say this idea from your past life was fictional. Fictional. He rolled his eyes. Yes, though if you want to be pedantic, magic was also fictional where I come from. And if I can use fantasy magic to build fantasy technology, it stands to reason that fantasy technology should work. You are not sure how this thing actually works. I didn't say that. Yes. No. Groaning. He peered at her from under the machine's armpit. Look, almost everything I've built, I barely understand. I know how firearms work, but the power's doing all the heavy lifting. I've been trying to learn more, but the power's doing all the heavy lifting. I've been trying to learn more, so I don't have to rely on it. But I've got a magic wrench. Yeah, a magic wrench grafted into my. I've got a magic wrench grafted to my arm, not my brain. It takes time, even if this makes it move faster. He wiggled the fingers on his left arm. You know I worry. Garth breathed and closed the panel. I know. Coming out from around the stand, he scanned his knuckles down his arm. I promise you, if I thought it wouldn't work, I wouldn't be getting. Bleh. I wouldn't be getting in this thing. What is this? It must be you. You would be hard pressed to find anyone that could understand how. You would be hard pressed to find anyone that could learn that could understand how to use this thing. Not that I let anyone else near it. If I wasn't it, yeah, excuse me. If it wasn't in an emergency, I wouldn't have made it. Finding her, finding her palm with his fingers, Kraft squeezed and turned to his creation. What is this? What is this? I know I'm going to be surprised, and I'm like, oh. Or I could be shocked and like, oh, okay. Standing in the corner of his shop was a rack holding a suit of weirdly proportioned full plate that almost broke 7.5 feet, uh, 7.5 feet in height. Unlike most, unlike most other common suits, the joints and components were linked and fused, or seemed to be, with no clear separation between them. Instead, the streamlined silhouette sported a series of seams where the parts had been opened laterally, revealing a thick layer of rubberized padding and leather finish. The arms the arms and legs ended in both wrists and ankles were okay, hold on. Let the writing cook for a second. Which served as housing for vital utilities and weapons. A heavy, reinforced backpack saddled the spine, holding the suit's power source and fuel supplies. It is a Gundam. It's probably not a Gundam. It's probably some sort of mech. Regardless, it is. It is. It. I'm picturing a gun, or just simply a mech. It's Raven from what's it called? That video game, the very popular video game. What's it called? Um, Not Mecha Break, the other one. Um, oh, it sounds so cool too. I forgot what it's called, but it it's the game that's like Mecha Break, but it was like very hard. It had very hard to beat bosses, from what I've been told. And the character or the suit that you play as is called Raven. If you know what I'm talking about, feel free to type away. Comment down below. I think what's never gonna happen though is when I do finish the stream, I'm just gonna look it up afterwards, and then or just simply remember. But regardless, I still encourage y'all to like, interact. Hey, hi, say something. I know you want to say something, so say it. Say it. It's Christmas Eve. Come on, don't be a coward. Don't be shy. Though the visor was low, it's a mech. It's a Gundam. It's a Gundam. What is this story? It's a Gundam. It has to be a gun. Though the visor was lowered, the helm was probably the most impressive piece, fitting a miniature computer and a rudimentary screen overlay that would auto-connect to any of Craft's firearms for easy targeting and navigation. Finally, bisecting the suit at the waist was an integrated utility belt with a dozen pockets, all of which led to an individual miniature plane where an almost ludicrous amount of ammunition and supplies could be stored. An invaluable magical tool only created thanks to Ryan's help. Okay, so this is either a big giant battle suit, right? A mobile suit, right? Or this is just one of those like You know Halo, the little the thing that is sort of a single piloted mech where it just a foot like a footwalker. One of those like maybe it's like a like kind of like Star Wars at or not AT-8, yeah, whatever it's called, whatever the footwalker. Um, or maybe there's something else. Maybe my imagination's running wild right now or something. Anyways, or maybe it's an Iron Man suit, like it's some sort of Iron Man suit. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Letting go of Ryan, Kraft walked up to face the helm. No time like the present, he breathed. Let's put it let's put it through its paces. With the lift of the helm, he slipped into the armor, closing each section with a confident snap. Limbs and torso secured, he donned the helmet. Okay, some sort. Okay, it's not a Gundam. I feel like that would have been. It's not a mobile suit. It is a suit, but it's not mobile. It's not a mobile suit. I think it's something that's on a much smaller scale. He donned the helmet and started the computer. But wait, no, hold on. That contradicts what I'm saying. There's a computer system inside this thing. So it is some sort of robot, not a robot. It's not like something that's huge. Because it is, if you remember, it is about. How big was this? I said earlier. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's sirens probably. Anyways, if you can hear the sirens, which I doubt you can, it's probably the ambulance or someone else or a fire truck. How big is this thing? I forgot how big this thing, and I can't seem to find the height. Oh, almost broke 7 feet. Okay, so it's big, but it's not a mobile suit. Unless that piece was 7 foot, then oh my gosh, how big is this thing? Oh no, yeah, no, it's just a suit, but with a computer screen in it, I guess. Okay, so it's like a big, just like a mini size mech, I guess, but it's like about 7 foot. Like I think Robotnik, Doctor Robotnik, and his not his giant one, but like how he's like in a egg shaped like floating pod or something. I feel like it's something that's about that same size. Not saying that this is floating. I'm saying like it has arms and legs, and of course, but like I think it's like something about that size, and it's just convenient for him. And let's put it through the spaces. With the lift of the helm, he slipped into the armor, closing each section with a confident snap. Limbs and torso secured, he donned the helmet and started the computer system. shivering as he witnessed a cleaner, modern digital display for the first time in 2 years. He reinvented a computer. But how? Like, never mind. I'm not going to question it. I mean, this said no, huh? It did say earlier that he. Let me see this. Yeah, it said they had computers inside, right? Already. Why am I surprised now? Not when I read it. Why? Yeah, a miniature computer. Why? Huh? Why would he? Okay. No, not okay. And I mean, not why. Obviously, why, but like, wow, there's going to be a revolution. Okay, sorry. I lost my place and I found it again. Give me a second. A modern digital display for the first time in 2 years. An errant thought passed between his ears that he should upgrade the shop's computer to match. But he quickly stamped it down cynically. One day he'd more than likely need to develop computers to the levels he had back on Earth. But for now, he needed to learn to live life without them. They were an addiction that was unaffordable to a man spearheading a war. Systems, systems. No, excuse me. Let me drink some more. System startup complete. All systems check. With a yank of his arm, he pulled away from the armor stand, rolling the armor around his joints. Okay. Between the plating and the cushion, a layer of corded carbon weave acted like a muscle, tightening and loosening in a close mirror of his own movements. Motion check. Hopping to one foot and bracing against the armor rack, he tapped his toes along the boot and activated the engines along with his ankles, producing a bout of flame and air that ended up knocking over a nearby table. Oops. But jets check. With a glance, he checked the fuel gauge, the brief use finding the brief use had expended only a thousandth of a percent of what he had already loaded in the backpack. That should be enough to get him to Mersin, and if he needed more on his return trip, he had that stored away in his deepened pouches. He'd worried at first if the fuel he synthesized would be inefficient, but leave it to his gift to give him something that lasted him for literal miles. Lifting his arms, he flexed his fingers in a particular pattern, causing the bulbous overlay on top of his wrists to expel their own flaming exhaust, though at a much sharper luminescence. Luminescence? Oh, luminescence. Sorry, luminescence. Plasma torch check. Everything's working fine. Shutting off the flow of fuel, he stepped off of the mount's platform. With that, I think it's time to head off to Mersin. Ryan stepped forward, resting a hand on the plate over his chest. She was frowning. And I cannot persuade you to take me. And I cannot persuade you to take me. Kraft shook his head. Not in the car. This car is too fancy. Sorry. No. No women in this car. Anyways, I need. Okay, excuse me. Sorry. Kraft shook his head. I need you here. Tomalota needs someone to watch over it. And you're the only one I trust. And you're the only one I trust that can. It is 2:20. It is 5:38. And the battery for my computer is 49. We can make it for a few more minutes. I guess we can end at the other second part. What? No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, thank goodness it was that. Okay. Clicked on the wrong button. Okay, let's see. I could still ferry you across the plains. You would arrive in the blink of an eye. That's not what we need right now, he sighed, walking over to the nearest weapons rack. He lifted two long arms. His trench gun and an automatic rifle he built for himself modeled on the frame of a Thompson submachine gun. This is a Thompson submachine gun. Both had been updated with a wireless transceiver that linked to the helmet, providing a laser sighting, ammunition tracking, and projectile trajectory feedback. Kraft paused, mentally acknowledging how advanced all this technology was. This was the first time he was really building beyond the technology available on Earth, and there was some concern it wouldn't work out like he intended, despite all the equipment working on every perceptible level. Then he reminded himself that this was the level of technology that threatened to fall into the guild's hands if they lost this war. Brainwashing Echion was all the more insidious with magic involved, and it constantly sent shivers down the spine. Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Sent shivers down his spine when he recalled the relatively imperceptible magics Arorts had already used on him all those months ago. I'm actually going to Google that. What's this? Okay, that's that. Okay, what's this one be? Imperceptible. Impossible to perceive. Okay. Well, now I know a new word. Excuse me. I used on him all those months ago. Jumping between the planes drains you, doesn't it? He asked, setting the weapons on his back. Ryan hesitated. It does, but it is inconsequential. Kraft shook his head. Not when you may need to save the town from overwhelming odds. I'll travel by flight. Make our resources work for us while they still can. But if there's no stopping you, could you lift your visor for me? With his legs already directed toward with his legs already excuse me. I think it is an Iron Man suit, but it's just kind of just big. I say Iron Man suit, but like just think something that's like slightly bigger for someone to like pilot it. So it's kind of like it's like a big robot, basically. I mean, technically, him inside the suit is piloting a bit, but like sitting down in the chair with arms and legs. Anyways, and a helmet. With his legs already directed towards the door, Kraft stopped, turning and doing as she asked. He was about to ask why he felt her lips on his and her fingers threading over his temples. Warmth prickled through his head and down his spine, almost relieving an ache that wasn't there. Ryan pulled back, letting her lips linger so briefly on his nose. To protect you without me by your side, she leaned up and pecked his cheek. And that one is for luck. Kraft took her hands in his, careful not to crush her delicate digits with his newly enhanced strength. Kissing her knuckles, he said, "The luck alone would get me through a dozen battles." Leaning down close, he pressed his lips to her forehead. "I love you," he whispered, "and I you. Return to me, Kraft. I always will." And then he doesn't. He went to go get the milk. It's always the milk. And I always will. Well, we could actually end it here and then save the rest for Christmas, for tomorrow. And if not for tomorrow, Friday. And if not for Friday, Saturday. And if not for Saturday, next Saturday. And then onward. Eventually we'll get this book done. Probably, hopefully before the year ends. So yeah. I want to continue reading. So I guess what I could do. I guess what I'll do is kind of read this few paragraphs ahead of time and then reread next stream. According to his mark, Kraft's new suit could fly. What he got were more along the lines of exaggerated hopes. Leaving Tumbeloda through the south gate, he waited until he was out of sight before giving the thrusters a true run for the money. And they did work. He just had no idea how to position his body when they were active. So instead of cruising to Merson like some kind of comic book superhero in an hour, he made it there in just under 2 hours, while looking absolutely ridiculous the whole way. More than once, his league diminishing jumps ended with him frightening travelers along the roads. Not what he intended, but if that meant by the end of things he would be familiar enough with the jets to actually fly, he'd take it. Okay, so tomorrow we will read more, but I don't want to finish the chapter tonight, basically. It is almost time for me to spend time with folks, to have some Christmas Eve supper and all that other stuff, and then have a nice, jolly good night and all that jazz. But as for you, I wish you a Merry Christmas Eve. And if you're not with me tomorrow, or if I'm not, if I don't stream tomorrow, whatever, I also wish you a Merry Christmas as well. And if you don't make it tomorrow or don't watch the stream or whatever, I still wish you a Merry Christmas or whatever. A Merry Christmas. I do hope that you all, I do hope that people do watch these streams, whether they're dead streams or live streams, don't matter. I just like the idea of doing this. I'm doing this for not just my entertainment, but hopefully your entertainment. Again, I wish part of me kind of just want to just rip the band-aid off and just finish reading now. But unfortunately, again, it's almost time for Christmas Eve to actually officially start. Technically, this is the day of Christmas Eve, but Eve means evening. And so Christmas evening is almost here. If not, it is here. Regardless, I've got to go. So remember to leave a like, comment down below what you like about this story so far. So far, it's kind of interesting. I'm assuming the suit that he's wearing is actually more like, it's not a gun. Sorry, excuse me. It's more along the lines of imagine Dr. Eggman's little bubble seat, I guess, his little egg chair that just floats around, right? It just floats around, kind of looks like this, I guess. And he has the chair where my thumbs are, right? I can imagine that, but okay, the Minion, Minion from Megamind. Okay, I'm visualizing that it's kind of like that, minus the fishbowl. It's kind of like that, but with arms and legs. Not arms, it's kind of like that, but with him with computers. I don't know how else. I mean, he didn't describe it. He honestly didn't describe the suit, or if he did, I don't fully understand the appearance of what this is supposed to look like. I mean, then again, you don't want to bog down your readers with describing the thing, I guess, perhaps. But I think they're supposed to get an idea of what's supposed to kind of sort of look like. Anyways, so I'm guessing that it's just a suit that's has some sort of seat with a miniature desk with computer screens and whatnot. So again, I don't know how this works, but I'm visualizing that Kraft is in some sort of suit that's kind of like Minion's suit, or Dr. Eggman's floating chair, but with arms and legs attached to it. I'm guessing a smaller scale version of the Iron Giant. So think the Iron Giant, but Iron Man kind of level side, because he did say helmet. So I'm assuming either A, he's wearing a helmet, or the suit has a helmet. So initially, I thought that it was some sort of Gundam, he has a mobile suit. And so he's like. Right. But no, I think that would be too much of a toll on Kraft's crafting ability, his crafting powers. But anyways, that's all I have time for. I kind of want to talk more about the story, but I really gotta go. So yeah, see y'all soon, and bye-bye.